Okay, ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Friday, TGIF. Hope you're all doing well. Friday, July the 8th, 2022. What is going on? Appreciate you all being locked in and tuned in here on this Friday. I see Travie, Luke RJ, Brendan, Noah Johns, Cody Gaskins, Connor McCormish, C Youngblood 13. What's going on? Also, guys, in the Big Cock Club Discord over the TDC Questions channel. The TDC Questions channel, to be sure that your questions are answered there, folks. We have got a lot to get into and a very big show here on this Friday. I want to hear from you, taking your questions, your comments, and your calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Also, a lot of rumors flying around what might happen with a certain prospect for South Carolina basketball. Of course, today's podcast dropping my full 2022 predictions are out for the football season, including a very, very big upset to conclude the season. Again, we're taking your questions, comments, calls. I want to hear from you guys today. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Of course, guys, the Daily Crow is brought to you as always by our friends over at Carolina Ale House. Check out your local Carolina Ale House location. They've got tons of cold beer on draft, fantastic food as well. Plenty of TVs, so you can catch whatever game it is you're trying to watch, whether it's college football, MLB, NBA, whatever it might be. Of course, it's the number one spot to watch all your Gamecocks football games. We'll have all of our watch parties there. We're less than 2 weeks away from the beginning of the Carolina Ale House tour. That'll get going July the 21st at Carolina Ale House in Summerville. Full schedule is on social media. It's actually pinned, by the way, if you want to see the schedule. It is pinned to our Instagram. So if you want to check that out, be sure to check it out. Really, really good stuff. Let's see. Anyway, so check that out. The full schedule upcoming. But again, our friends over at Carolina Ale House, it's always a good time at Ale House. Head over to your local Carolina Ale House location. Again, we appreciate their love and support of the Spurs Up Show. Again, if you are in the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to the TDC Questions channel. We'll take your questions there, guys. I'm locked in. I've got 8-4, 4-4 in SEC play. And yes, guys, listen, even I'm a little surprised at myself, okay? Because as I've said many times, and if you listen to the Wednesday show, I said that 8-4 was the realistic best case scenario. And I actually stand by that. I really do. I think anything more than 8 wins, probably a little bit aggressive. And I know my predictions today, a little bit aggressive, but you know what? I look at it like this. I've told you guys many times, like I said, 7-5 is the safe pick. I think it's a very safe pick. I think it's a good pick. I think it's a good pick for South Carolina. But it gets old making the safe pick over and over and over and over again, right? And I think a lot of us, the reason we're locked in at 6-6 or 7-5 is because, and the reason we're locked in at the safe pick is we just don't want to get hurt again, right? We don't want to set expectations too high because what if we fall short? And listen, I'm not sitting here 57 days away from kickoff trying to set unrealistic expectations. That's not what I'm sitting here doing. Okay? 7-5 will be a good season. If we go 6-6, God forbid, it'll be a little bit of a disappointment. There's nothing wrong with being disappointed in 6-6. But as long as, like I told you guys, you're making a bowl game every single year, your program is staying on an upward trajectory. It's not going to happen overnight. We're not winning the SEC this year, right? So positive progression is the number one goal and number one priority of this program, right? With that being said, though, I would say this. Why can't South kind of go 8-4? In my opinion, if you're Jake Crane and you're picking the Gamecocks to go 5-7, right? He's picking South Carolina to go 5-7. That's just as bold, if not more bold, I'd argue, as picking Carolina to go 8-4. Why can't South Carolina be what Arkansas was last year, the surprise team? And again, it's crazy, and I did not think this would be the case. But I just still think the Spencer Rattler addition, the Spencer Rattler narrative is still being undersold. I really do. I'm a believer in Spencer Rattler. You can say whatever you want about him last year. He got benched. Guys, the bottom line is this. He's still a 5-star player. He's still a Heisman guy. He's still a first rounder. He's still that guy. He's still that guy. I'm not saying he's going to win the Heisman this year, but he's still that type of dude. He's still the type of guy I think that can change a football team, at least change an offense. So, for example, the offensive line, certainly the offensive line is the question mark. I think he will make the O-line better. From guys I've talked to, there was a lot of confusion last year with the guys under center and the schemes and shifts, and it was just a mess. It was a mess, and it all started at quarterback. So I think Spencer Rattler, I'm huge on Rattler. I'm big on Rattler. I think I'm not saying he's going to throw 50 touchdowns. I think he's going to play well. I do think he's going to play well. And for that reason, again, it would not shock me, certainly, again, to see the Gamecocks win 7 or 8 games as I predicted. And like I said, guys, I thought I was going to be locked in at 7-5. I came into this week. I'm going to sit down, make my predictions. But people have been asking me the last couple of months, Chris, where do you see South Carolina? I said 7-5 is about right. 7-5 is probably about right for us. I did not expect to sit down and lock in the Gamecocks at 8-4. But I just went with what came to me, and here we are. Went with my gut. Jonathan Moffrey says, we don't care. Talk about Gigi. Jonathan, I think a lot of people care about football. No offense. You're talking basketball. Like, the Gigi stuff, whatever happens, happens. Nobody knows. I mean, there's been a lot of smoke. There's been a lot of smoke around Gigi Jackson. Potentially flipping, coming to South Carolina. We'll see. We'll see. Again, there's a lot of smoke, though. There's a lot of smoke. And where there is smoke, there tends to be some fire, right? There tends to be some fire. So I'm hopeful. What a change of events, or what a series of events it would be, right? So many doubtful and skeptical of Lamont Paris, and certainly yours truly sitting here saying, well, who knows what the expectations will be? Who knows what the expectations will be for Lamont Paris in year one? You land Gigi Jackson, all of a sudden, all that changes. Keith Malsberger in the TDC Questions channel says, 8 wins seems very optimistic. Our line play on both sides of the ball has to show a lot of improvement. Keith, I don't disagree. We have to do a better job stopping the run. We got to do a better job running the football. We got to do a better job protecting the quarterback, right? But again, I understand protecting yourself, picking 6-6, picking 5-7, God forbid. But I think it's no more unreasonable to pick the 8-4 than the 6-6. I'm a believer in Spencer Rattler. I think this offense is going to be much improved. I think he alone is going to make the offensive line better. You've got the weapons behind him running the football. Again, I'm not sitting here telling you guys that it's impossible we go 7-5 or impossible we go 6-6. There's things that have to be, there's questions that have to be answered. But again, you have the answer, in my opinion, to one of, if not the most important question, and that is Spencer Rattler. You got the quarterback figured out. Finally, you have the quarterback figured out. Rebecca, appreciate you tuning in. What's going on? Let's see. Ed McKinnis says, let's pull this up. Love that Spencer Rattler's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. Hopefully he can win 2 or more games for us. Dude seems to be working his tail off. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think what happened to Rattler last year in Norman could be one, he looks back 10 years from now in his career and says that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Getting humbled a little bit, right? Getting humbled a little bit in Norman could be one of the best things that ever happened to him. I truly believe that. I think he's going to have a good year. Like, I'm not sitting here saying he's going to be in New York. I'm not sitting here saying he's going to win the Heisman. I would not put his name on merchandise if I didn't think Spencer Rattler was going to have a big season. I would not do it. I would not do it. So I'm excited. Again, the big one, of course, guys, I got the Gamecocks 8-4. I think that's almost like a side story, though. I'm going out on a limb and picking South Carolina to beat Clemson. And I see people, right? I see people on social media. I see people dropping predictions, close loss. What's so funny about it is Clemson fans cannot even comprehend it could be a close game. And on one hand, I get it, right? I get it. Look at the margin the margin in that game, that series over the last 7 contests. Hadn't even been close. Hadn't even been close outside of 2015. Even 2018, where the Gamecocks lost 56-35. I mean, that's a 21-point margin of defeat. So it hadn't been close. But it is going to be close again at some point. It is. It's going to be close again. And I've been talking for weeks, for months, really, about that game, and that I just have this gut feeling that South Carolina will make that a close game this year. I don't view Clemson the way I view Georgia. I don't view Clemson the way I view Alabama. I think Clemson is mortal. I think they're mortal. I think they're still a very good football team. Maybe the best defense in college football, probably the best defensive line in college football, but they're mortal. They have problems on offense. They don't have a quarterback. And so I don't think it's unreasonable to think that South Carolina can go into Death Valley, not just give Clemson a tough game, but beat them. Listen, when we look back on the season, South Carolina does not have to be a better team top to bottom than Clemson for 14, 15 weeks of the year. We don't have to look back at 2022 and say, well, South Carolina was just, without a doubt, the better team for the entirety of the season. Guys, to pull an upset in college football, you don't have to do that. You just got to be better than a team for one night. You just got to be better than Clemson for 60 minutes. So I think on the road, Spencer Rattler's going to have a game this year where he puts the team on his back. He balls out. He leads South Carolina to victory. The Gamecocks defense will keep them in that ball game. I expect the defense to key in on the rushing attack. I think South Carolina will actually have an offense capable of complementing the defense this year, unlike last year. Back and forth ball game. Late touchdown drive leads South Carolina to a 24-21 victory over the Clemson Tigers. Just lock me in. Why not? Hey, if you're going to pick that game to be close, why not go all out? Why not go all out? And that's where I'm at. College football is crazy. Since when does college football make sense? Since when does it ever make sense? And I'll eat my words if I'm wrong. I'll eat my words if Clemson blows out South Carolina again. I'll gladly do it. But in the meantime, the beauty's in the banter. Beauty's in the banter. Let's see. Anyways, I want to hear from you guys. Taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Let's see. Rebecca says Clemson can go to hell. Indeed. Garrett says some South Carolina fans have probably become so accustomed to having a below-average quarterback to mediocre quarterback, they don't understand how far a great quarterback can take us. And, hey, I'll say this, right? Spencer Rattler can't do it alone. There's 10 of the guys on offense that have got to play. They got to do their jobs, right? I still don't think we're elite at receiver, even adding Antoine Wells. It's Wells. It's Van. How good is Rucker really? I don't know. How is Xavier Legette going to ball? I don't know. What does Dak Joyner do? How does he fit in? I don't know. Can Landon Sampson really contribute as a freshman? I don't know. So there's still question marks at receiver in my mind. Hey, Jaheim Bell, though, should be a week in, week out great player, a contributor. I mean, the offense, no doubt, should be better, right? And, Spencer Rattler can't do it alone, but there are reasons to believe this offense will be much better. And, I don't know, guys. Call me crazy. Maybe I am drinking some of the Beamer Rattler Kool-Aid. Maybe I am letting myself get overhyped about, just finally having a good quarterback. God forbid. Excuse me for being excited for finally having a quarterback that's worth a damn. I mean, we all hated on Jake Bentley, right? I was not a Jake Bentley guy. But folks like Ryan Helinski, Colin Hill, Zeb Nolan, Jason Brown, Luke Doty have all made Jake Bentley look like a Heisman Trophy quarterback. I've really appreciated over the last couple of years watching us under center what Jake Bentley did. And Spencer Rattler is worlds better than Jake Bentley. So, again, it's bigger than one position. It's much, much bigger than one position. But, damn, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Just because you've got a quarterback, a good one, it doesn't mean everything. It doesn't ensure victory, right? But if you don't have a quarterback, if you don't have that position figured out, you can't make a living week to week. You just can't do it. You got to have that guy. Spencer Rattler serves the same way as look, what am I trying to say? I'm reading the questions as I'm talking. That's what's throwing me off. Spencer Rattler serves in the same way as Steve Spurrier did for South Carolina football. What do I mean by that? When Steve Spurrier was the head coach at the University of South Carolina, it didn't matter who we played. We felt like we had a chance. What didn't matter what the spread was, what the odds were. We knew because of that guy on the sidelines, we had a shot. I think Spencer Rattler gives you that same type of hope and belief. Listen, South Carolina's got to go to Fayetteville. They got to play Georgia. They got to play A&M. They got to go to Clemson. They got to play Tennessee. We all know the gauntlet that is this schedule. But when you have a guy like Spencer Rattler, you're not going to win them all, no doubt. But you never know. In a game like a Georgia, an A&M, a Clemson, at Kentucky, Tennessee, you go into those ball games saying, what if, just what if, he has one of those days? Kind of like a Steven Garcia did against Alabama. What if it clicks for him today? Because if it does, we've got a shot. If it does, it changes everything. So I think that is the hope and the belief. It's just one position, but it's the most important on the football field. And Spencer Rattler's addition gives this program a shot of hope and optimism it has not had in a very, very, very long time under center. So, guys, I'd love to hear from you. I don't want to sit here and ramble the entire time. Listen, the podcast is for rambling. This is for you all. Your questions, your comments, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I don't know if he's tuned in, but a quick shout out to Harper Greer. Harper Greer just ordered this exact shirt I'm wearing. How about that? Harper Greer with an order on the store. Appreciate you, Harper. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. TSUS.store, guys. TSUS.store. TSUS.store, folks. Tyler Knowles says, I'm interested in seeing where Lavassier Carroll ends up playing this year. I know he played running back in high school, but switched to DB at Georgia. Intrigued for that. I also think Marshawn will be RB1. Christian Beal-Smith is a vet, but Marshawn's without a doubt the bigger home run threat. I mean, listen, if Marshawn Lloyd lives up to his billing as a recruit, he's the number one guy, for sure. The question is just, will he live up to it? That's the question. Will he finally live up to it? Let's see. What did Joe Anders says? Frank would have already gotten his commitment and kept the roster intact with pulling for Lamont to put a good product out there. Well, Joe, isn't it funny and ironic that we fired Frank Martin and we might still end up getting Gigi? So all the Frank Martin stands are going to combust if it happens. So let's see. Cody Gaskins. So Cody Gaskins, here's an interesting take by our friend Cody Gaskins. Cody said if you had to pick one or the other in an 8-4 season, he'd rather beat Tennessee than Clemson. Listen, in a normal year, I get what you're saying. SEC hierarchy, you want to climb the SEC ladder. But if you're not going to Atlanta anyways, there are streaks on this schedule. There are streaks for South Carolina football that need to be snapped. Bottom line. They need to be snapped. That streak against Clemson needs to be snapped. As I've said before, for the sanity of the fan base, for the sanity of Gamecock Nation, the streak needs to be snapped. Luke RJ says, I think Lloyd has made a lot of gains in the weight room the last 2 years. He looks strong. I mean, I guess from what you see on Instagram, Luke RJ, he looks strong. I mean, yeah, listen, I expect Marshawn to have a better year. Coming off of that injury, I think we didn't give enough credit to just how difficult it is to bounce back off of that. But there's some guys on our roster, man, that no question it's a put up or shut up year for them. Marshawn Lloyd, Jordan Birch. I mean, dude, you're creeping ever so close. Like a guy like Jordan Birch, call it for what it is. You're creeping ever so close to bust territory. It's not even funny. You are. I mean, one sack in 2 years, man. One sack in 2 seasons. Got a ball out. Garrett, based on 2021 standings, 4-4, put us third in the East. Why not? Why not? Why not? Let's see. Again, Friday, folks. Friday. Appreciate y'all tuning in, taking your questions, comments, calls. Podcast dropped this morning. Episode 672. Part 2 of my 2022 game-by-game predictions for this upcoming football season, which in turn means my full predictions are out for South Carolina football. And I've got the Gamecocks 8-4. I do have the Gamecocks 8-4 with a win over Clemson. That's the one that I think really is like the kicker for people. Again, I've seen a lot of picks of a close game against them. I'm just like, why not just at some point Carolina's going to beat Clemson again? It's going to happen. Why not just go all out and pick it? I mean, why not? Because here's the thing. It's crazy to say it could possibly happen until it does. And it will at some point happen. Luke RJ says, if we're good enough to beat Clemson, I think we can beat Arkansas and Tennessee, but I respect your picks. Well, Luke RJ, you know, college football doesn't work out that way, right? The transitive property doesn't work, you know? I mean, the 2019 Gamecocks were good enough to beat Georgia. That team went 4-8 and lost to Appalachian State, Luke RJ. How do you wrap your mind around that, right? How do you wrap? I'm asking a genuine question. How do you wrap your mind around that? Like it doesn't. I'm not even saying Luke RJ South Carolina is going to be a better football team than Clemson this year. I'm not saying that. But as I said before, South Carolina doesn't have to be a better football team over the course of the 2022 season to beat Clemson. They just got to be better than Clemson for one night. And I know that's coach speak bullshit. I understand. But it's the truth. Pull an upset, you only got to be better than them for 60 minutes. Just one night. Just one night. And again, I think there's going to be a game this year that Spencer Rattler is going to put the team on his back, and he'll be the difference. And I think that could be one of those. I think especially if Clemson's still in the same spot they're at right now at quarterback, why can't the Gamecocks beat them? I look at Clemson as mortal. Last year, I feel like Clemson came back to mortality. They're not Alabama. They're not Georgia. They're still very good. And there's nobody in the ACC that's going to give them a fight. Maybe a Notre Dame can take them to the limits this year. Maybe an NC State. Maybe I guess, do they play Miami? Something like that. Whatever. But realistically, nobody in the ACC is going to push them. Right? Not really. So the question will be offense. South Carolina's defense can hold up against Clemson. I got no doubt. Last year, defense wasn't the problem. Yeah, I know Clemson scored 30, but That was more so because offensively you just couldn't do anything. You couldn't even stay on the field. You couldn't even get ahead of the sticks hardly. Here's the big question. Marion says, Chris, do you personally think we land Gigi? Listen, Marion, here's the thing. If I told you yes, or if I told you no, I'm purely speculating. I don't know. I will say this. From all the smoke I've seen and heard, do I think it happens? Yes, I do. That's a lot of smoke for it to be nothing. You know what I mean? That's a lot of smoke for it to be nothing. So at this point, I'm kind of expecting Gigi Jackson to be a Gamecock. It would not shock me. Again, this is a complete, just a guess. I'm not an insider. I'm not a source. This is per insiders, per sources, per media. Gigi Jackson, I could see him being a Gamecock, though, just based on all the smoke around the situation. So I say all that to say, yes, per sources. Listen, as the number one Gamecock insider source on the internet, I am telling you, Gigi Jackson will be a Gamecock. Never have I been wrong. My insiders have their ears to the ground, the best insiders in the game. Cannot wait for the boys over at the Big Spur to throw that up on the message board. Cannot wait. Luke RJ asked, what's our points per game average with your score predictions? Luke, I did not go back and look at it. I do think we have a successful year offensively. I mean, if you want to do the math, Luke RJ, you're more than welcome, but I think we score 34, 24, 17, 38, 49, 28, 21, 45, 35, 31, 28, and 24. So I think we're around 30. I think we're probably around 30. The totals I've listed, I'd be ecstatic with. I'd be ecstatic with those totals. I really would. So I think you'd be kind of crazy to say that wouldn't be a good year offensively. I think it'd be a fine year offensively, truly. I mean, we're not going to average 50 points per game, right? But as close as we can get to that 30 point per game mark, the better. Fred Jenkins, you may have already addressed this, but if Clemson comes to the SEC, how do you see them faring out? I don't think they ever go back to the Natty. Well, here's the thing, Fred. Clemson comes to the SEC, all this expansion happens. The playoff is getting expanded, right? The playoff's not going to be 4 teams. So I could still see Clemson faring in that conversation. It's hard to predict what, we don't even know, Fred. It's all a hypothetical conversation. We don't even know what the conference would look like. I want them to come to the SEC, though. I'd love to see Clemson in the SEC. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, if they don't come, I'm indifferent either way is all I'm saying. I'm not one of these people that's sitting here like, oh, my God, like, we can't let them in. Why not? We play them every year anyways. Had a buddy of mine text me this morning, well, what about it taking away the advantage? Oh, that's really worked out for us before, right? That's really worked to this point, right? Because we're out recruiting Clemson because we're in the SEC. Like, horseshit. Clemson, as much as I shit on them, listen, Clemson's an SEC team in the ACC anyways. When you look at stadium size, when you look at the way they invest in football, I mean, there's no difference between Clemson and an SEC team. They are an SEC team. Like we're splitting hairs, really, truly. So, Cocky Twan says, "What's up, Chris? 9-3. I'm telling you. You know what I love about Cocky Twan? Let me say this about Cocky Twan real quick. Cocky Twan does not follow me on any social media platform. Does not follow me. And the only time he really ever engages with me on social media is talking shit. You would think Cocky Twan hates my guts, yet he's tuned into the Daily Crow every single day. And I think that what that goes to show, guys, is this. People run from having haters or criticism. Guys, the people that hate you, those are some of the folks that tune in the most. And I'm not saying Cocky Twan falls in that category, but I just think it's ironic and funny that, like, I've seen Cocky Twan, I've seen you reply to me many times. Doesn't even follow me on social media and just talk shit constantly. But he's always locked in tune to the Daily Crow. My sir, I tip my cap to you. Appreciate your love, appreciate your support, and I appreciate you being one of the numbers, big dog. Appreciate you being boosting the analytics, big dog. So it is what it is, my guy. Cocky Twan said, love-hate relationship. I hear you, my guy. Hey, you tuned in, locked in either way. I rock with it. Let's see. Guys, we're 30 minutes in and nobody's called in. Nobody wants to talk about the fact I picked Carolina to beat Clemson. How is there not a seismic? I figured we'd have another earthquake in South Carolina, another earthquake in Columbia today. Nobody is even balking at that prediction. I love it. I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, Luke RJ, we got 74 people in here right now. So I think folks are just fired up for football. I think folks are fired up for football, man. I can't blame you. I'm fired up as well. Less than 2 weeks away from SEC Media Days, right? That's just around the corner. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Travis Allen says 8-4 if we stay healthy. Yeah, I mean, that's Travis, that's a given. Yeah, you got to stay healthy for the most part, at least. Chris Cabrera. Why do you have Carolina beating Clemson? If Cade plays, do you still think they beat Clemson? Whether Cade Klubnik or Uiagalelei, I don't think Clemson, excuse me, I don't think Clemson's got an answer at quarterback. And listen, Chris, is it the logical pick? I mean, the ESPN FPI came out and they give South Carolina a 7.8% completion, a 7.8% chance to win the game, right? So the odds are stacked against Carolina, right? Chris, the reason I picked South Carolina to beat Clemson, here's why. Many folks, I think a lot believe the addition of Spencer Rattler and all the other additions, that South Carolina is poised to give Clemson the most competitive game the series has seen since 2015, right? And as I've stated before, for the first time since 2013, South Carolina's got the better quarterback. It's not even up for debate. And if you have a quarterback, you have a chance. Listen, South Carolina does not have to be from week 1 to week 13, 14, 15. They don't have to be the better team than Clemson over the course of the entire season. They've just got to be better than Clemson for one night. And I look at Clemson, probably the best defensive line in college football. The defense is elite. But there are a lot of moving pieces right now up there. There are a lot of moving pieces on that coaching staff. Still great players, but a lot of moving pieces. And while the quarterback position is only one of 22, it is the most important. Many folks out there are picking South Carolina to give Clemson a close ball game, and that's all fine and dandy. But you know what? South Carolina has got to snap the streak at some point. The streak is going to get snapped. It's not going to go on forever, contrary to the belief of those crayon eaters in the upstate. It's not. Since when, guys, does college football make sense? And it won't make sense to think that South Carolina will beat Clemson until it happens. And so I'm going out on a limb and saying it's going to happen this year. I think no matter what, it's a close ball game. I think it's the closest ball game we've seen again since 2015. But again, I think for the first time since 2013, South Carolina's got the better quarterback. I think they'll be able to hold their own just enough on the line of scrimmage. Listen, it's going to take a fantastic outing by Rattler himself and a great game plan by Marcus Satterfield and Shane Beamer, because that's going to be the biggest challenge is up front. If you can hold your own up front, you can sustain some drives. Defensively, you're going to give yourself a chance. You're going to give yourself a chance. Clemson is not going to be explosive offensively. I just don't see it. They'll probably be better than last year, but not explosive. the Gamecocks will be able to hold their own on defense. And again, as I said earlier, I think there's going to be a game or two this year in which Spencer Rattler steps up, puts the team on his back, he balls out, and he leads the Gamecocks to a couple of unexpected victories this year. The finale in Clemson will be one of them. Give me Gamecocks 24, Clemson 21. So there you go, Chris. That is my reasoning. That is my reasoning. That is my reasoning. Again, I will eat my words if I'm wrong. I will eat my words if I'm wrong. No doubt. You guys know I'm not going anywhere. I'll wear it. I'll wear it. And I know Shadow of Death Valley and all of Clemson social media, and they'll make every clip in the book about me. That is fine, baby. I got rhino skin. You can't penetrate it. I got rhino skin. Tough as nails. I live for it. It fuels me. I mean, heck, Shadow of Death Valley made a diss track, a diss video about me, and I took it and made it a highlight video. I love it. You fuel me when you do that. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. The beauties in the banter, like I said, guys, a lot of folks are going to pick this to be close. If you're going to pick a close game, why not just go all out? Why not just pick the upset? Why not? Why not? So there we are. And I know many of you are probably, really taken aback because, I've been preaching, and I always do preach perspective and not putting the cart before the horse and keeping your expectations realistic. And I still stand by that. But it's college football, man. It's college football. Craziness can happen. I mean, you want to say I'm unrealistic for picking the Gamecocks to go 8-4? The consensus pick is 7-5. Like, we're splitting hairs here. And I'll say this too, and again, this isn't what wins football games, right? Hope alone. Hope doesn't win you games. You don't just hope you're going to go win a game and do it, right? That's not why you win. You need a lot more than hope. Hope's not a strategy, as my good friend Alex McGrath once said. But without hope, you have nothing. And I think it's about time we change up our mentality going into that South Carolina Clemson game. I think it's about time we shift the school of thinking. Again, hope alone is not going to win anything. Hope alone does not win you a football game. But that rivalry is so mental. And year after year after year, we've come into that thing expecting to get our asses beat, right? Expecting to get crushed. I'm just saying, maybe changing up the thought process around that game, and certainly what helps do that, adding more great players, becoming a better team. I think it could be healthy for not just Gamecock fans, not just the football team, but an entire Gamecock nation to change up the mindset, the mentality around that football game. It's guys, hear me out. It's not unreasonable to think that South Carolina can go play a close game against Clemson. It's not. It's not. Even if the Gamecocks don't win, why can't Carolina go play a close game against Clemson? Like, why not? The last 7 years, the last 7 defeats, they mean nothing going into this game this year. And so that's my argument too when we're talking about, listen, I'm very realistic, right? It's a hot take to say Carolina will ever win a national championship. It's a hot take. But on the flip side, letting the fandom come out of me, why can't Carolina do it? Why not? It's going to take time. It's a process you have to build. It's a very slow build as well, I think. But the only way it will happen is this. People think about the big picture, right? They think of they just see the finished product. That type of greatness, getting to that level, it is a day after day after day after day after day after day commitment to excellence. Being great, guys, being great is a habit. It's not just something that happens overnight. People think it happens overnight. It's not something that happens overnight. It is a commitment day after day after day to a certain standard and expectation. And so I believe Shane Beamer's doing that. Listen, I'm not saying he's going to win a national championship. But I think Shane Beamer and company are committed to making this program the best it can possibly be. If that's being an 8-4, 9-3 program, so be it. If that's what it is, so because winning's hard, right? Everybody's getting paid good money to get to that point. Kentucky wants to be there. Tennessee wants to be there. Florida wants to be. Everybody wants to be there. Everybody does. But there's no reason why South Carolina, in my mind, like, the only thing you can really say that's holding Carolina back is history. That's it. That's it. And the last 100 years don't mean shit for 2022. Let me put it this way. The last 100 years does not define the next 100 years. What happened, happened. It's in the past. What's going to happen is going to happen. It's in the future. All you got control of is right now. All you have control of is this present moment, making each and every single day the best possible. Again, if you're holding a gun to my head and I have to predict, will Carolina ever win a national championship? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. Again, it's a hot take to say they will, but I am telling you that it could happen. It could. So we'll see. We will see. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe the chicken curse lives strong forever. But, I mean, let me just put it this way. You took the Block C off of everything at USC. If this was a nameless, faceless school and I showed you all the facilities and I showed you everything, you would say to yourself, I mean, this is a championship caliber program. This is a big-time program. Who is it? Oh, it's South Carolina. Oh, okay, never mind. That's what Shane Beamer's fighting, man. That negative stigma, right? Like I see a lot of you comment. I do the same thing, right? I do the same thing. Well, it's Carolina football. We're going to lose one we shouldn't and win one we shouldn't, and that's where we're going to end up, right? Oh, we're probably gonna beat Georgia and then lose to Charlotte the following week. That's Carolina football. That right there, that mentality, I'm guilty of it too. That mentality is what Shane Beamer's fighting. That's what he's fighting. He's fighting to get rid of that because Bama fans don't think that way. Georgia fans, they don't think that way. Right? The elites don't think that way. They expect to win. They think it is, like Bama fans think it is their, and I'm speaking for them all, so be it. It is their birthright to win. That's what they think. It's their birthright to win. They deserve to win. They're owed victory. Shane Beamer is fighting the stench of this program's history. Andrew, the textbook, poetically just phrased it. Guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into our first break, but I want to continue to hear from you more of your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Let's see. Anyways, want to hear from you. We've been talking my predictions today. I'm locked in 8-4 overall record prediction, 4-4 in SEC play for the 2022 football season. Also, it's shaping up to be possibly a very big day on social media, or just a very big day for the Gamecocks in general, and if nothing else, a big weekend. All this G.G. Jackson talk. Also, a little side note, the ESPN FPI, ESPN dropped their FPI win percentages for each individual game this season. Of interest, I think, the highest percentage is against South Carolina State, 98.8%. The season opener against Georgia State is 82.5%. The one that threw me off, the lowest, is Clemson, 7.8%. They give the Gamecocks 7.9% against Georgia, which is, again, wild to me. Wild. They give the Gamecocks just 30.1% to win at Florida. 44.1% to win against Tennessee. How about this? Just 23.5% to win at Kentucky. 27.8% to win at Arkansas. So some interesting, what does the FPI matter? It means nothing. It means nothing, but it is interesting, and it is that time of year to look at things such as that. Hayden says he's got us going 8-4. Love it. Love it. Garrett says, I don't know much about them, but I was surprised you have CLT putting us up 21 points on us. Well, they do return a lot, Garrett, especially offensively. They got a veteran quarterback. And I think also, too, Garrett, I just look at that game. We'll be coming off of games against Arkansas and Georgia. I think we might be a little bit sloppy early, especially in the ball game. I don't think it's necessarily like an indictment against our defense or our team. But, in those small games, man, you just never know. I mean, crazy things can happen. I think certainly we win. There's no doubt in my mind we win, but I could see Charlotte putting up some points. Again, we're going to be coming off two very physical games against Georgia and Arkansas, so I could see us being a little sluggish out of the gate. Travis Allen, Chris, do you think Lonergan commits to us? Great question. I feel like a lot of people are freaking out over this for some reason. Well, you just picked Dante Reno up. I think whatever his plans are, is he going to reclassify? I think a lot of that plays into it, right? I think a lot of that plays into it. Right now, I'd say no. It sounds like the momentum says he's going to go to Alabama. But, guys, if we don't get him, dude, people are forgetting, we still have Tanner Bailey, Braden Davis, Luke Doty, Colton Gauthier. All these players are still on the roster. Then you got Reno committed. How many more quarterbacks do you need? I get it. We want to get them all, right? But if he doesn't go to South Carolina, it's not like I'll be totally shocked. I think the Reno commitment probably made him reconsider. I would ask you this: who do you like more, Reno or Lonergan? Which one would you rather have? Is there a preference? Is there a preference here? So. Ben DeRosa says Jaden Bradford over Dylan Lonergan. Yeah, dude, I've watched Jaden Bradford in person. Kid's a stud. Kid is a stud for sure. We ran a poll, by the way. Do you want Clemson in the SEC? 933 votes thus far. The poll's only been up for 4 hours. 60-40. 60% of you say no. 40% say yes. Again, guys, for me, come on, sure. Doesn't really do anything for me in the sense of where I'd be opposed to it or against it. Doesn't do a whole lot for me. Anyways, guys, I do want to hear from you. We're almost an hour through the show, and we don't have. Should we stop the Daily Crow at 1:00? Nobody wants to call in. Should we just call it 1:00? Just call it a show at 1 o'clock. That's what I ought to start doing. Say, all right, if we get to 1 o'clock and nobody's called in, we're just doing a 1 hour Daily Crow that day. I bet people will start to call it. I mean, it's fine. I'm just a little surprised. Either way, Jeff Gullidge, when the players report to campus. I think they're already on campus lifting, Jeff. At least some of them are. I'm sure report date for them will be like the 1st of August, 2nd of August. Practice gets going. I think Beamer said August the 5th. So yeah, somewhere around there. I mean, listen, they're kids. They're having their own summer too. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to enjoy their summers also. So we shouldn't have to. No need to lock them on campus all summer, but I think beginning of August is when they'll get there. And then again, like I said, fall camp will get going, and God, kickoff will just be right around the corner. I mean, it's crazy to think, guys. Tomorrow's 56 days. Tomorrow's 8 more Saturdays till kickoff. So 8 more Saturdays. You know, I've talked about this before, but many people ask me about what's my favorite sport to cover and what's my favorite content and all that. I mean, it is, I will say this. I'm a baseball guy, but there's just nothing like talking college football. You know what I mean? It just moves the needle for everybody.
From Brian Lattimore.
Brian, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Dude, I thought you were sick.
I am, but I didn't want you to cancel the Daily Crow and get off that easy.
I wouldn't have either way, but I'm glad I scared you enough to call in.
Well, yeah, I'm just going to drop a thought real quick, and I'll let you run with it so I get off the line. But I was thinking, you know, over the years, we've been lucky to have some good kickers. You know, you can date back to, you know, the early 2010 teams with Spurrier. You know, between Parker White, Elliott Fry, whatever. You know, we've had some clutch games where we've, you know, won by barely anything. You know, last second field goal. You know, I don't know if we have that same luxury this year. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of question marks at that position. I don't know if you've covered it. Maybe you have. But, you know, I could see this year we could have a lot of close games, you know, some swing games that we need a kicker. So I was curious to get your thoughts on that. You know, I just hope we don't drop a close game, you know, maybe a game that we should win because of that thought. So I'll take the call off the air. Catch you next time, man.
Brian, I appreciate it, man. And that's a great point Brian Lattimore brings up. You know, anytime you're replacing a guy that is literally the all-time points leader in school history, you know, it's a storyline. It's a talking point. No, Brian, I have not really dove into it yet. You know, next week we'll do the season preview series, and on Friday's show, a week from today, so I will talk special teams. And, of course, when we do our position unit preview series, we will talk kickers because it is a big deal. You're right. I mean, think back to the last time we replaced our kicker, and it was 2017. I mean, you think back to Parker White's first year, it was a mess. I mean, it was a mess, right? The start of his career was a mess. So that's certainly a storyline to follow, especially if you think South Carolina is going to be a team. I think a lot of us think that South Carolina is going to be a team that's in a lot of close ball games. So, yeah, need to have that kicker situation figured out. They feel confident, I think, in Mitch Jeter. Does this dude, the transfer from Arizona State, does he factor in at all? We will see. But, yeah, we'll find out. So, Marion says, Robbie, put the fork down. It's call-in time. Love it. Love it. Aaron Hodges, what position groups are championship level? Quarterback. It's a good place to start. Tight end. I mean, again, championship level, Aaron. You need every position group basically to be championship level to win a championship. So here's the big question. Hughes, is Gigi coming to South Carolina? That's the question everybody has. Everybody wants to know. There's a lot of smoke. Hughes, there's a lot of smoke. Typically where there's smoke, there's fire. Typically, right? I can't say for certain, I cannot say for certain, but it's sounding like it might be possible. So. Anyways, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. My official predictions are out for the 2022 football season. I've got the Gamecocks going 8-4, 4-4 in SEC play. Brian Alexander says, who is Gigi? Gigi Jackson. Gigi Jackson. Mr. All Everything, the best of the best for basketball. Hopefully we get him. Currently a UNC commitment, but a lot of smoke around the fact he's going to flip. I'm going to highlight it. Rebecca says, let's not start the bullshit about Robbie on the phones, please and thank you. Rebecca, is there a Rebecca versus Robbie rivalry? Say that 5 times fast. Robbie versus Rebecca, a better rivalry than Carolina Clemson? Okay. Rebecca, you're going to piss some people off going after Robbie Davis. Cocky Twan says the impact of a good quarterback on a team will be the story after the season. Rattler knows how to win. He'll instill confidence in this team. Yeah, Cocky Twan, it's just so funny to me. Again, I understand what happened last year. He didn't have a great year, but it's like it does not change the fact of who this guy is. You know? If you're gonna put stock into last year, then give him credit for 2020 also when he balled out, led them to the Big 12 championship. Like, put stock in that too. It's the same guy. He's also that player, you know? B. Hughes, do you think Dak Joyner plays quarterback or receiver? Definitely receiver. Dude, he's not even on the depth chart as a QB. He's not even on the depth chart as a QB. Michael Brock, we got to win 7 games. Yeah, I'd say 7-5 or better is a successful year. 6-6, you're not, I mean, I'm not going to label it as like a failure, but it'll be a little bit of a disappointment because of all the pieces you've added, right? A little bit of a disappointment. Let's see. Cocky Twan, let's all end the Dak at quarterback talk, please. Yeah, I mean, I know there's some people that just can't let it go, but, you know, whatever. Andrew the textbook says 6-6 isn't a failure, though I would say anything worse than that is. By the way, this is a complete side note off topic. Does anybody feel like this week has just flown by? I mean, I know Monday we didn't have one. We didn't have a Monday really because of the July 4th weekend, but this week has just, I mean, it's crazy to think it's already that it's already Friday. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's, I don't know. Right, let's turn to the phone lines here.
Call from
Tommy.
Tommy, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, Chris. How you today?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's up?
Hey, there's a few things I wanted to talk about. First, I hadn't heard anybody really mention this. They talk a lot of times about how Rattler led Oklahoma to the conference championship, but you correct me if I'm wrong, but he did it when he was a freshman.
That is correct, yes.
Yes, I mean, to me, that speaks volumes about his ability to be able to do such a thing as a freshman. I mean, that's few and far between, even in college football.
Yeah, I mean, think of South Carolina. They haven't had many freshmen play at the quarterback position. I think Lorenzo Nunez was the first freshman to start under center for them since like Steve Tannehill. So it doesn't happen often. Yeah, I mean, it happens more now, I guess, because guys are getting in. They're getting in early, and they're getting in spring ball and whatever. But, yeah, it's impressive as a freshman. And he had a good team around him, too. Had a really good team around him.
Yeah, and I still believe from a national standpoint, I still believe there's a whole lot of pundits or whatever you want to call them that still have a lot of belief in Rattler's ability, or Rattler wouldn't even have odds to be a Heisman candidate.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely. I think most people understand his talent level, and there's a reason he, was so highly touted going into 2021. And I think there are certainly a lot of folks out there that aren't letting one crazy year at OU. I mean, we saw their program sort of just fall apart with the Lincoln Riley stuff. They're not letting that one bad year or that one crazy year just completely dictate their thought process on this guy. But there's also plenty of people out there that don't think he's any good. I mean, just flat out, there's a lot of people that just do not think he's worth a crap. So it's going to be a lot of fun to just see who's right. Is Rattler all world everything again, or does he stink? I mean, we'll find out.
Well, as a lifetime Gamecock fan, it's exciting to even think we have a chance to watch it transpire.
Yeah, no, it's. You talk lead storylines of our season, and again, I know we talk a lot about like O-line play and line of scrimmage, but when you're talking the difference between a 6-win and an 8-win year, fairly or unfairly, he's going to get all the credit, all the blame. You'll go as far as Spencer Rattler takes you this season. Bottom line.
I agree, and he also has probably more pieces around him than any quarterback we've had in a long time, probably since Connor Shaw.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do have a lot of good pieces around him for sure. Just what they added through the portal. And so, yeah, I mean, I think the pieces are there. I don't think there's any excuse this year why you can't be a 30 points per game type of offense. I think it's doable. So,
let me give you one other thing. Let me give you change gears. Let me give you a what if, since it's what if season. What if we do go to Arkansas and we do shock the college football world?
Well, I think it just opens up the door to, I'm not going to sit here and say competing to like realistically win the SEC East, although that game week 3 would effectively be a game to put that winner of that game in the driver's seat. But no, yeah, listen, I think if you beat Arkansas, I think it sets you up well to go 8-4. You know what I mean? I think I think it will be a jolt of – it will show this is a really good football team, and it will be a jolt, shot to the arm of just even more optimism and positivity. And again, it'll set you up to go 8-4, or God forbid even 9-3. But I think 8-4, and maybe do some things some people didn't think were possible before the season started. Again, I think a lot of people that are around 6-6 are protecting themselves from getting their hopes too high, and I respect that. I really do. But you beat Arkansas, I think you throw all those predictions and projections out the window, and who knows? It's the biggest swing game of the year, in my opinion.
Well, I think it's how we play is going to be as big as possibly an upset would be, because that's going to really set the tone.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree 110%.
Yeah, here's one of the things that I'll say about that is in the last few years we've had that one or two good player, but because we've not had enough weapons, they've been able to lock us down, double team us. And I feel like if we're successful and we do have what we think we have, that's going to be out the window this year, and it's going to really make a difference.
Yeah, no, I would agree, man. I would agree for sure. So I'm excited for it. I think that, I'm locked in at 8-4. I don't have the Gamecocks beating Arkansas or anything, but, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think if you put me on record for this, I think we go 8-4 too. I think we win 4 out of 6 of them swing games, and if by chance we happen to upset, we do beat Arkansas and Clemson, we'll win 9 games.
Fair enough. I love it, man. Like you said, it's talking season, what if season, prediction season. So I love it.
It's exciting time to be a Gamecock fan.
It is for sure.
Thanks for what you do.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for the call. Great stuff. Great perspective, great insight. And, again, guys, like I told you, I really didn't think I was going to be falling in the 8-4 camp. I really thought I was like, 7-5. I think 7-5. And we still very well may go 7-5. Like and if we do, I won't be shocked. I'll be, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. But I don't know, And a lot of people have mentioned, you've got us winning 4 of the 6 swing games. I look at like Florida Zoo as much closer to wins than swing games. All right, here we
press
go.
1 to send a voice.
Skyland, what's up, man? How are you?
Good. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Just hanging out. What's up?
That's great. I mean, I'm just sitting here listening to your show and, listening to everybody's predictions and stuff. And God, I hope they're right. I hope they're right. I'm wrong. And it's not that I don't believe in the players, because I 100% do. And I believe in Shane Beamer and Clayton White. And I believe in everything that they're doing. But there's one piece I do not believe in, and that is Marcus Satterfield to me. And that is the only reason why I'm holding my tongue, saying we're going to go 7, 8 games in, and I'm keeping my prediction 6 to 7 wins because of Marcus Satterfield. Do I think we have better players? Yes. But what sells me is the O-line and the scheme and the play calling. That's what scares me about Marcus Satterfield.
Do you let me ask you this. Do you think there's just any chance that the players, not even the players, do you think there's any chance that last year the quarterback play just stunk? Is there any chance? I mean, do you think Jason Brown just stunk?
The quarterback play was
Zeb Nolan stunk? Is there any chance?
The quarterback play was bad, but I mean, most of them ran for their life the whole game, and they didn't get no blocking. And I'm just like, we only lost to Darius Hutchinson from Mike Bobo to Marcus Satterfield. But at least Mike Bobo had a run game, and Marcus Satterfield basically had nothing. That's what really bothers me. Like, you have the same guys, but Hutch. But at least Bobo could run the ball, and Marcus couldn't. And that's just what.
And Bobo ran us to a 2-8 overall record in 2020. I mean,
yeah, because he had no passing game.
Right. Sure. We could run the ball. That's all we could do. No, I mean, listen. To your point, man, just about the Sat thing. I mean, listen, you're handing the guy the keys to the Ferrari, right? I mean, with the additions you got, and this is the put up or shut up here. I mean, if you don't get it done and you're averaging 23 points per game on offense again, we'll all know what will happen. We all know what will need to happen and what will inevitably take place. So.
And I hope Marcus Satterfield comes and shock. And I hope everybody on your show is absolutely right. 8-4, 9-3, 10-2. I mean, beat Arkansas, beat Georgia, beat probably, possibly beat A&M, beat Clemson. I hope everybody's right. I want to win every game, but it's just that Marcus Satterfield is holding me back. And and what bothers me about what I see a whole picture with Spencer Rattler. Some people are just like, he's our savior. To me, Spencer Rattler is going to be the best quarterback he has since probably Jake Bentley. I mean, Jake Bentley wasn't all that great, but Spencer Rattler is going to be the best he had since Jake Bentley. And probably the best he had since Dylan Thompson and Carter Shaw. But the Joker is going to he's going to make some plays that, other quarterbacks can't make, and he's going to throw a couple picks. And he's going to make good plays, and he's going to make boneheaded plays. But will he do better good plays than what I guess what I'm trying to say is, will he have more good plays than bad plays? And I mean, I'm really excited. I can't wait to spot the ball. Me and my buddies are going at it back and forth because I think Georgia State's going to be closer than the 7-point game. And they feel like we're going to beat Georgia State, by 21 plus. And I just feel like, you know what? It's Carolina football. It's the Gamecock way. I can see us blowing them out, but I also could be like, you know what? It's the Gamecock. We're going to make it harder on ourselves. And that's how I feel like the opener is going to go.
And that's the mentality that Shane Beamer is fighting, my friend. That's the mentality he's fighting. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that when you're trying to change the culture and change tradition and create your own, that's the mentality you're fighting. So, and the only way to fix it is to go win and go win big. And listen, you're an 11-point favorite. I think as long as you cover in that ball game, it is a season opener. I'm totally fine with it. I mean, I've got a 20-point victory, but I think it's going to be a close game early, probably at halftime. I think the Gamecocks, though, at some point, Skyline, they're going to have more athletes than Georgia State. They just are. So I think they'll be able to pull away late. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a 10-point or 13-point game going to the fourth quarter and South Carolina is able to pad to that lead late. But, I mean, yeah, we'll see. But
I'll tell you what, I'm excited about football season, and I'm excited about basketball season because the day might be the day GT decommits against South Carolina. Rumors are big today on it, and they think the day is the day that GG just decommits and commits to South Carolina because of the whole reclassification casted thing. And
wouldn't that be
definitely
something?
excited for them. Definitely, I'm not excited for Mark Kingston. I'm definitely excited for the Gamecocks coming up here with all the stuff he's adding to the roster. And maybe he's finally got the right staff in place to win at South Carolina. But, I'm and what's he going to do in 2024 could be my concern because obviously he's going to have a good season.
Right.
So that's what's he going to do. Braylon Wimmer coming back. And just really excited with the whole Chris, Kevin Madden, Josiah Flightler, Braylon Wimmer, Michael Braswell, Evan Stone, plus the additions you made. And it seems like Gamecock athletics is definitely on the uprise in all three sports, especially for this year.
For sure.
Well,
Skyline, well done, my friend. I appreciate you.
Well, definitely can't wait to kick off the 2022 Gamecock season and see what it holds. I hope it's just nothing but smiles and fun and a bunch of wins and we finally get something to be happy about.
Indeed. Skyline, appreciate you, my guy.
I appreciate it.
Yep, take care. Good stuff. 843-790-3377. Cocky Twan says, we're returning, in my opinion, the best secondary group in the country. Cocky Twan, come on, dog. Come on, my guy. Come on, my guy. Best in the country? Come on, my guy. That's all I got to say. Come on, my guy. Come on, my guy. All right, let's jump to the phone lines
Call
here.
from
Robbie Davis, a.k.a. Kirk Herbstreit.
Robbie, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing good. Aside from my shoulder being sore from last night, I'm doing fantastic.
Robbie, how does it feel to know that you and Rebecca have a rivalry?
One, I didn't know we had a rivalry. Second, I don't know what to say to that, okay?
I didn't know there was a rivalry either until today.
Me, I didn't know either till you just
I
said
feel like
something.
Rebecca threw some shade in the chat about you calling in. And that took me for surprise. So here we are.
I have said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 more. I have no ill will towards anyone. Okay? None.
Robbie, you may not have
Right.
asked for this smoke, but this smoke is what you will get.
Yeah, I didn't ask for it, but I'm getting it, okay? But you know what? That's fine. People got their reasons for doing certain things, but you know what? I'm just going to do what you, as you say, I'm going to roll with the punches, baby. I'm going to roll with the punches.
It's all you can do. It's all you can do.
And if I ever get knocked down, I'm just going to brush myself off and get right back on up. That's what I'm going to do, dang it. And I was actually surprised with myself last night because I got quite a few bullseyes last night. So I was very, very shocked last night whenever I was doing axe throwing last night. And if you've never done it, you need to. It's a lot of fun.
Very good. Where did y'all go? Somewhere in Orangeburg?
Yeah, there's a place called Axes and Ales here in Orangeburg, which I didn't even know it was an axe throwing place until last night. I thought it was just some place that they came up with some sort of catchy name involving axes and ales. I don't know. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. My dad got mad at me because once I got the hang of it, I almost beat him. But anyways, I for this year for the football season, right? I just want to see development, okay? All right, week by week, no matter who we're playing. I want to be able to look at the TV screen and be like, or in this particular case, when I'm at the state game, right? The South Carolina State game, I want to be able to see it and be like, okay, we've gotten better since last week. So, and that's what I'm going to be looking at, and I'm going to be watching, I'm not going to just be watching the games. I'm going to be analyzing it, trying to watch as much of, because here's the thing that drives me up a wall, okay? Because you can't really analyze the whole field if you're watching the game on TV because they don't show the secondary, okay?
Right.
So what I'm going to do is whatever I can see, I'm going to analyze that and then give you my 2 cents the Monday after the win or the loss. Hopefully more wins than losses.
Indeed. You need that full 22 view where you can see the whole field.
Yeah. And just a heads up, I was not eating. That's why I didn't call in for a while. It's just somebody came over to use my dad's printer, and I didn't want to be rude and be on the phone. So that's why I waited till now to call in. So if anyone's out, if anybody out there is upset that I waited so long to call in, there's my. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're good, Robbie. To your point though, too, I do think it's important to see this football team improve week after week after week, and that's one of the reasons why I think I'm picking South Carolina to beat Kentucky is because, and that's a coin flip, could go either way, but I think at that point in the season, I will say I don't think it's the most important game, but that game to me serves. Everybody's looking at Arkansas as the measuring stick, and it's a measuring stick of sorts, but Arkansas in week 6 is sort of going to tell me what direction's the year going, right? Like, is this going to be a nice 6 and
Arkansas week 6? We're playing Arkansas week 2.
No, I said maybe I did. I meant Kentucky week 6. If
you
I said
Arkansas,
that.
you literally just said Arkansas.
Okay, Kentucky week 6. We play Arkansas week 2. The Arkansas game has been labeled by a lot of people as the measuring stick, and it is of sorts. But that Kentucky game I look at in week 6 is that's going to be a game that sort of tells me which way the season's going to go. You lose that game, and yes, it's a coin flip, but you're probably staring 6-6 in the face. And I've said before, I think you got to split Arkansas and Kentucky to get to 7 wins. I just feel like at that point, though, that's basically the halfway point of your season. You need to show in that Kentucky game in week 6, that's where it needs to start rolling, especially offensively. At the halfway point of the season, it's got to roll. You got Charlotte, you got SC State. You should be able to beat up on them, gain a lot of confidence offensively, and I think springboard in that game in Lexington. And that's why I'm picking a W. So, we'll see. But I do also want to see that continued improvement week after week after week after week. And if you do that, I think it'll set up well down the stretch. I still think you probably don't beat A&M. That's why I've got A&M beating you. But, you should be able to handle the Mizzous and the Vandies. And I think it sets up well to split Florida and Tennessee. And, again, I've picked you to beat Clemson. So,
all right, I got a question for you here, okay? What do you think over the next several years, if this were to ever happen, what do you think would have to happen as far as coaching staff and recruiting goes, what do you think would have to happen in order for 1 year, just 1 year, to where we look at the A&M game and we go, this is our year. This is the year that we beat the Aggies and we give them what they've been needing for over 10 years is an ass whipping. Okay, what would have to happen, coaching wise or recruiting wise, for you to go, that's a toss up or a W?
I think for it to be a W, I think that beating them would help. Just finally breaking through and beating them. No, I mean, I think South's going to continue to improve as a football team, and if A&M maybe falls off or whatever, but I think a lot of it now is just Texas A&M just owned you, and I know Clemson has too, but you've beaten Clemson before. You've literally never beaten Texas A&M.
Yeah.
So, and there's some people that do have that in the toss-up category, and if you do, I don't think you're crazy. I mean, you're coming off a bye week, but A&M is also coming off a bye week. So I don't know that the bye week means a whole lot. So I think just continue. If you go 8-4 this year, let's say you lose to A&M, but you go 8-4. I mean, I think going into next year, you got to go to College Station, but you might look at that game as a toss-up, especially if A&M doesn't have a great year, right? So it's all about which way the programs are trending. And, I mean, if you ever do finally break through and beat them, well, then I think that changes your mindset on that game. So, but for me, I don't go into that game with a ton of hope. That game has been so abysmal, so brutal. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to be wrong. I've told you before, I'd sign up for 8-4. I don't care who you beat. I don't care which 8 it is. If I can get an 8-4 season, I'll be ecstatic. I will be ecstatic. So maybe A&M is the upset this year. Maybe it is.
Hey, there's a reason why you play the game, okay? And like I have said before, you do not win a game on paper. You don't do it.
Facts.
You don't. Just because A&M on paper is better than us does not mean at some point we're going to beat A&M, or we're going to beat A&M, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right? Just because they're better than us on paper don't mean shit. Because at the end of the day, the ball still needs to be kicked and snapped and everything else.
I know you're serious when you drop a curse word, Robbie.
Oh yeah, and I try not to cuss. I really don't. But you can tell whenever I'm serious and I drop a cuss word or two. Okay.
He said it don't mean shit if they're better than you on paper.
The second that ball is kicked, stats, records don't mean shit. All that matters is the next 60 minutes of football, and at some point it's going to come down to who wants it more.
I love it. You're right. You're right. I love it. Coach Robbie Davis. Coach Davis.
But also a reminder, if you are in the Columbia area, the weekend of the 15th and the 16th, my dad will be at the at the Comedy House on Decker, okay? Featuring for Cletus C. Judd. If you come out, we got merch for you to purchase. Yeah.
Love it. I'll let you know about my schedule, Robbie, if I can make it out or not.
I will most likely be at the show Friday.
Gotcha. Okay.
Huh?
I said I will let you know about my schedule and if I can swing it or not. I don't know yet 100%. So
if not, I'm not gonna hold it against you. No worries.
Thank you. Glad to hear that.
I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to hang out with your family and your brother. I wouldn't blame you. I mean, he's been in Alaska for what?
Good little bit. It's been 6 months or so, yeah.
So, but yeah, if y'all ain't doing nothing next weekend, Friday and Saturday, come out into the Comedy House and let your liver loose.
Will do. Yeah, everybody get out there.
All right, buddy. I'm gonna get off of here. You have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend. And go Gamecocks and to heck with Clemson. Bunch of purple pants wearing weirdos. All right, buddy. Have a good one.
Thanks, man. You too. Just unreal. Unreal. Guys, we're going to jump into a quick break, but I want to continue to hear from you. More of your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Again, appreciate all those who have called in. Really, really good stuff here on this Friday, TGIF, July the 8th, 2022, as we get going this weekend. And like I told you guys, a big Friday it is. A lot of rumors swirling right now around Gigi Jackson. Also, of course, I dropped my full predictions for the football season.
Dalton.
Hey, let's jump to the phone lines here. Dalton, what's up, man? How are you?
How's it going, bud? Just enjoying my last day on the beach, so this might be my last call.
Hey, you've had a heck of a week.
Bit.
Yeah, you've had a heck of a week, my friend.
Yeah. Enjoying it. Sitting out here drinking a Modelo at 12. You can't, or what, 1:30? You can't do that at work.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
You can't do that at work.
That's a fact.
But I sort of wanted to just call in and talk about. I know we're in the midst of sort of football season right now, but all of this hype around Gigi Jackson, potentially decommitting from UNC and coming to South Carolina has me sort of thinking about that a little bit. And so my question is, if we do end up flipping Gigi Jackson, which there's a lot of smoke around it, it's not official yet, but if it does happen, what do you think the expectations for Lamont Paris in his first season will be?
I mean, dude, I feel like adding Gigi Jackson is like an NBA team adding LeBron, right? I mean, you can take where LeBron, and I mean, that's an aggressive comparison, but how LeBron can take a team that is a cellar dweller and basically turn them into a postseason team. I mean, I know Gigi Jackson's just
Jackson, without Gigi Jackson, I would say most fans don't expect to even sniff any kind of postseason,
right?
Even the NIT. I mean,
yeah.
I'm more optimistic about it. I think even without Gigi Jackson, the pieces we have may be good enough with good enough coaching to get to the NIT, but I don't think anybody really expects us to get to the NCAA tournament.
Right.
But if you add a piece like Gigi Jackson, even though I know he is reclassifying or, potentially would be reclassifying and coming a year early. So, his body might be a little bit underdeveloped compared to all of the other players, but still, he's got all the tools necessary to be good in the SEC. So, I mean, you could potentially say this team could make the tournament, but do you think that it is an unrealistic expectation to expect that with the 1 year that Gigi does play for us potentially? Because most likely he's going to be a one and done, no matter where he goes.
I mean, I don't think it's unrealistic. I mean, you get a player like that. I mean, why not? You know what I mean? Why not? I mean, the beauty is, though, again, there really are no expectations Lamont Paris's first year. So it's like, I mean, if you got Gigi and only made the NIT, I don't think anybody would you're not going to be calling for Lamont Paris's job. But I mean, I think you get in, the sky's the limit, man. He's a game-changing type of player, right? He is just one player, but he's a game-changing type of player. He's going to make everybody around him better. So, and like I said, it gives South Carolina basketball the much-needed shot in the arm of excitement to where we have a real reason to tune in and pay attention. And, as I said before, that was Frank Martin's biggest problem at the end of his tenure, is that the apathy had set into a level in which fans didn't care anymore. It wasn't a priority to watch South Carolina men's basketball anymore, right? Early on in Lamont Paris, we just don't know. We don't know what to think. You add G.G. Jackson, Gamecocks basketball on the men's side becomes must-see TV. The Colonial Life Arena will be packed, right, to see G.G. Jackson
Right,
play.
because
So
not only do you get the best player in the country, you know, in this year's draft or recruiting class, he's a hometown guy. So not only, you know, do you get to root for the team and root for this player to be great, but you want him to be great because you want other players in the city of Columbia and in the state of South Carolina to see, you know, hey, fans actually do want us, you know, to be good and they want us to play for the home team. So, I mean, that sort of brings me to my next thought about this. What do you think this does for sort of the trajectory of the program? Do you think we start landing more high-profile in-state guys? Because obviously, you know, that's been a big concern for, you know, a very long time since really Sendarius Thornwell and, you know, that team that made the Final Four run. We really haven't landed any high-profile guys in the state. Ja Morant wasn't exactly high-profile, but even, you know, like Zion Williamson, guys like that, we haven't landed not even one of those guys. So do you think that sort of changes the trajectory of our recruiting and shows people like, yes, you know, the fans want to support this program and we want our highly recruited players to stay home?
I mean, I think certainly it could serve as a program-changing type of pickup if you land GG, right? I mean, it's changes the narrative and the thought around South Carolina basketball. Like, why can't you go there? You know, you're a top prospect in the state. Why can't you stay home and play for South Carolina? It's almost still like hard for me to wrap my mind around and really comprehend that we could land him. Because, again, those type of things don't happen for South Carolina basketball. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I think it certainly serves. It's like what Jadeveon Clowney and those guys served on the football side, right? Showing people that, hey, you can stay in state and have a lot of success and be a great player and win a lot of games and, you know, get to the next level. So I think certainly if the G.G. Jackson domino falls, it could spell big things down the road for Lamont Paris and this basketball program. Maybe some things happening that we did not think was possible.
I mean, that's sort of my thought too, because, you know, obviously, even aside from Gigi, you've got a lot of guys in the 2023 class who are still uncommitted, right? And a lot of those guys are in state. You know, potentially if our coaching staff is able to land Gigi and convince him to stay home, they might be able to do the same thing with those guys. And then you're really cooking with gas in the next couple of years. You know,
exactly.
It may not be, you know, a 3, 4, 5 year rebuild, you know, to get a team that can go to the tournament. It may be just like a 1 or 2 year turnaround.
I mean, that's the most intriguing thing, Dalton, I think, about Lamont Paris is he's such a mystery. Hey, Lamont Paris could be a miserable hire in 3-4 years. We're doing this again. But you know what? On the flip side, Lamont Paris, he could be the best thing that ever happened to South Carolina basketball. We just don't know yet. You know, we just don't know yet. So.
Right. Well, I mean, that's all I wanted to call in about. I mean, I hope we get some news about Gigi soon. It certainly feels like there's a lot of smoke around it until it's actually official. I'm not, you know, I'm not going to get my hopes way up. But from what we're hearing right now, or at least the word on the street, is that we've got a very good chance to make this thing happen. So I hope it does happen, and you know, I'll be excited if it does happen to, you know, go to the CLA and watch some big home games this year.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's yeah. Well, it's we'll see, man. It's I mean, who knows? Who knows? It's gonna be a lot of fun with South Carolina basketball just to see how this thing unfolds, and I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm intrigued either way. I'm very intrigued either way. So,
but yeah, you have a good one. Appreciate you letting me call in, and you know, keep up the good work,
Dalton, and continue to enjoy yourself on vacation. Drink one for me, the rest of the Big Cock Club, and everybody else that tunes into the Daily Crow, my friend.
No problem.
All right, brother. Good stuff. Good stuff from our friend Dalton. Let's see. Great question here from Thomas Walker. Thomas says, one thing this football team's been the last 8 years consistently is inconsistent. Would you rather have a consistent year winning the games we should as well as losing the games we should not, or losing the games we should, or upset one or two while also dropping one or two you should have won, assuming same overall record? Thomas, give me the consistent win the ones you should, lose the ones you quote unquote should not. And the reason why is this. I mean, we've seen South Carolina football win big games like against Georgia, against Auburn. We've seen the Gamecocks pull these upsets, and they meant nothing in the long run. And it's because, let's take this year, for example. I mean, if you beat Georgia and lose to Kentucky, what difference does it make? What did you accomplish? You know? If you beat A&M but then lose to Mizzou the following week, right? Like, what difference does it make? What did you really accomplish? You know? But I would say this, Thomas Walker, that, you know, many would argue you're not supposed to beat.
Call from
Rebecca.
You're not supposed to beat Kentucky. You're not supposed to beat
press
some of the
1.
other teams.
To send a
I don't know.
voicemail, press 2.
Start the phone lines. Rebecca, what's going on? How are you?
I'm all right. How's everybody else doing?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, it's Friday. We're winding down here. Got a busy weekend planned, and yeah, so excited for the weekend.
There you go. This is my birthday weekend.
It's your birthday
Hopefully
weekend.
I'll be doing something.
I'm sure you'll have big plans.
I hope so. Anyway. You know, I'm not starting any shit or anything with Robbie Davis, okay? But
Right.
it's been pissing me off that everybody's like saying Team Robbie, and I'm like, if we didn't start the shit about Team Robbie and Team Rebecca, I'd say I would let it go.
Right.
But it's more been pissing me off here lately in the YouTube chat.
Mm-hmm. You're pissed off because people want to see Robbie Davis call in.
Yeah, it's like everybody else. Team Robbie, Team Robbie, Team Robbie. I mean, it gets tiresome.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. People just love Robbie, Rebecca. I don't know what to tell you. I got no control over the chat.
Hey, I thought I was loved on.
You thought you were loved on?
Yeah.
I think you
Robbie.
I think you are loved on. Robbie's also loved on though.
See, there's another one right there in the chat. Brian Lattimore. Hashtag Robbie Davis. Brian, you getting on my last damn nerves.
Brian Lattimore, what a guy. What a guy he is. You know, he called in today.
Did he?
He did call in, yeah. He was the first call of the day.
Well, that's good. I just wanted to say my piece about it, but I'm not starting anything with Robbie Davis. But this thing with Team Robbie and Team Rebecca stuff started up is like everybody's like Team Robbie all the time.
Rebecca, I thought you were the queen and Robbie was the king, and I'm the top king. What happened to that hierarchy?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, you're the top king. Robbie is the king. And then I'm the queen, but the queen hasn't been getting much recognized here lately. So
Right.
we'll see on Tuesday when we celebrate my birthday to see if we get anybody or anything like that on the show.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. It'll be a fun celebration.
That's what I say. I just hope I don't see any Team Robbie stuff on my birthday show, because I don't need that.
Well, I don't know what to tell you about the comments, Rebecca. They just roll in. They roll in. The people speak the way they want to speak. Not much we can do.
Can I say something to Brian Lattimore?
Rebecca, the floor is yours. Say whatever you like.
Okay. Brian Lattimore, can you shut the hell up, please?
Oh my God, Rebecca, you make me laugh. I can't help it. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness.
See everybody on here, Robbie Davis. Robbie Davis.
Oh my goodness. Mm-mm-mm.
Well, I reckon somebody else is beeping in.
We got some people texting him.
What are they saying?
Just a buddy of mine texted me about my predictions. He likes my picks, so he's a fan of my picks.
Didn't you say it was 8-4?
8-4, 4-4 in SEC play. Yep, and I got Carolina beating Clemson. So
Yeah, better have Carolina beating Tennessee.
I know I picked us to lose to Tennessee. Believe it or not.
Why?
I think Tennessee's got a good team this year. I mean, we're not going to win them all. We're not going to win them all. You know what I mean? We're not going to win them all. So we could very well beat Tennessee. We could, but I've got the upset at Clemson. So.
Ethan Towers. Shut the hell up. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying how I feel about some stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I hear you.
Well, I thought you would pick Tennessee, pick South Carolina.
Well, and, you know, Rebecca, that's maybe a good thing you bring that up, because a point to make. You know, these are preseason predictions, so my predictions are subject to change in season, because I'll drop a prediction the week of the game. So my mind could very well change. It could. But right now, that's where I'm at. So right now, that's where I'm at. I think Tennessee's actually going to be a good football team this year. So.
Block Rebecca. Ban Rebecca. Rebecca.
I don't know what's gotten into the YouTube chat, Rebecca. I don't know what's going on.
That's what I like to know. Those Facebook people ain't doing.
It's these YouTube people. These YouTube people are on a savage mode today.
John Rice. No, he's my buddy right there.
This is a heck of a way to go into the weekend. Truly.
But anyway, let's celebrate my birthday weekend. Have some fun.
Will do. It'll be a good time.
Anyway,
birthday weekend.
I'll let you go so that you can get off of here.
Rebecca, I appreciate you as always. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I know we'll talk soon.
All right.
All right. Take care.
No.
Bye-bye. Oh, my gosh. Lord, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say after that. I really don't. These hashtags are killing me. Well, we're about to hit 2:00, I guess. Guys, stay tuned to social media all weekend. I've got a feeling it is going to be a big weekend, and I'm not even just talking my predictions. This G.G. Jackson news, I think this G.G. Jackson stuff's just getting started. So, who knows? Anyways, check out the podcast that dropped this morning. Part 2 of my game-by-game predictions, which in turn, my full predictions for the season are out. I got the Gamecocks 8-4, 4-4 in SEC play. And I've got South Carolina. I did the unthinkable. I picked the Gamecocks to beat Clemson. Why not? Great year to pick an upset. Beamer Rattler 22. Let's go. We are here. We are live. Why not us? Folks, thank you so much for those who called in today. Rebecca, Robbie, Brian, everybody, Dalton. Incredible stuff. Thank you all for the continued love and support, man. Another great week in the books. Sincerely, man. It's a lot of blessings happening, a lot of great things happening behind the scenes. And I just can't say thank y'all enough. Cannot say thank y'all enough. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all have a fantastic weekend. And we will talk to you on